You can't judge people by who they're from, can you?
Join me for dinner.
Good morning, good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. I am Tim, back once again with my co-commentator Oliver for the Speed Force Racing GP2 series under the lights at Monaco. And this is going to be a spectacular race, I do believe, Oliver. How are you?
Oh, good, Tim, man. Yeah, definitely. Great to be back in Monaco once again. Second round of the season. We don't normally have Monaco in the second round of the season. But you know what? It's good to see Monaco this early because you can get this track out of the way and go on to Baku next week. But yeah, Monaco under lights once again. It's always nice to see the cars under the lights. And in Monaco, it's lovely. And it's good to be back with you again, Tim.
Yeah, you had a week off last week, but you're back with us now, and I do have to say that I am excited for this race. However, I do agree with you that it is nice to see this track on the schedule this early to get it out of the way. I know that you and I, neither of us were really looking forward to racing Monaco, but we both did, and now we get to just sit back and watch Monaco. So it doesn't matter who finishes in first. Today in the GP2 race, we're the real winners because we're not out there.
Yeah, definitely. Lozak's on track out first, warming up his Alpha. It's Alfa Romeo, that is. And to go through the swimming pool section. We've both driven this track, Tim, and let's just say, in this handy model of cars, it's a bit of a nippy track to drive, isn't it?
It really is. However, I felt like after a few laps on my tires that it was just like I could not go into the corners as hard as I really wanted to, so that really killed my lap time, and I didn't have a fast lap time around here to begin with, so I struggled a lot around this place. Lozak definitely faster than me already, I can tell you that right now. He looks so good going up through this first sector and really hugging that inside wall, bringing it out very wide, and then you got to be careful here just as you enter the second sector and you start going downhill. There is a bump, and if you spin the tires, you're going to spin around and more than likely hit the wall. It's a very tricky section of the track, and of course the hairpin, that's always tricky. You just have to slow down, turn the wheel, and hope you make it, and surprisingly I was able to make it through every time, even though I had a few close calls with that outside wall. Then the tunnel section, as long as you don't have any wing damage, you're going to be okay. If you have wing damage, you're probably going to go into the wall, so you got to be very careful. And then that chicane right there just out of the tunnel, it is just awful. I'll tell you that right now. You got to slow way down, and it's so easy to overshoot the chicane because you're going downhill and you have such a full head of steam built up. And then, of course, the section that Lozak just went through, it's a very tight chicane. You can almost make a straight line out of it, but it's too tempting to make it too straight of a line to just completely overshoot the chicane. And then, of course, the final sector is a very tight final corner before Lozak crosses the line to run a 109.308.
Good luck there for Lozak. Morris is about to come through now. Luke Bailey. So yeah, Cohawk has done 1 minute 11.3, and Morris 1 minute 9.366. A few hundreds slower there. We got, I believe, we've got a few more times coming through. That's Luke Bailey coming through to make a 1 minute 9.518. What else we got down here? We got Macaulay down there too. Who's next across the line, I believe? I believe it's Williams, I believe. Is it Calvin? Oh, he's on an outlet. So yeah, so it's Macaulay to next across the line.
Watching Macaulay round these final two corners. And that corner he just went through, you got to be very careful there as well. It's very easy because you want to hug the inside. So it's very easy to get your right rear wheel just clipped, and then you can, potentially damage the car or at the very least spin or upset the car. So you want to be very cautious through that corner. But a 109.6 for Macaulay in the Aston Martin. The only driver that's went out so far on the mediums is the Alpine of Crowhawk with a 111.364.
Cars come through, did a 10.9. Good luck there from Cara. Morris goes fastest with a 1 minute 8.8. First guy to go to the 1 minute 8.
And take a look at Mack.
Oh, Senate had an accident. Senate had an accident to back, lost the front wing, and it has to come to the pits to get a new one.
Yeah, that is definitely a missing front wing there on that Ferrari. Unfortunate for Senna. Take a look at SAF1 Mackett. He's through the tunnel section now.
Do you know the corner names around Monaco, by the way, Tim?
No, I do not.
Calvin second.
And Morris, 108.8, a fast qualifying time here, 0.2 of a second faster than Calvin.
And as you mentioned, Mackett, go through Raskas. So yeah, so turn 1 is San Devot. The Casino Square, that's up the hill. You got Mirabeau, which is the next corner. Then you got Lowe's, which is called Lowe's Hairpin. Then you got the Nouvelle Chicane out of the tunnel. Then you got Tabac, which is that fast left-hander. Then you got the swimming pool section. And of course you got Raskas, which is the penultimate corner. So that's the corner you want to know, Tim. It's your little track guide for you. X-Gamer's X-Gamer about to cross towards Nouvelle Chicane now.
So X-Gamer goes through the Nouvelle Chicane. Oliver over here teaching me these corner names. That's the thing, is that I'm bad with corner names. It doesn't matter where we are, I'm bad with corner names. I know the Ascari Chicane in Monza, of course. But other than that, I'm really bad with corner names. So thank you for that, Oliver. I now know Nouvelle Chicane, and X-Gamer now going down the front straightaway here. Let's see what time he gets in that Ferrari. His teammate, of course, had a bad run, but 10th place for X-Gamer so far, a 110.3. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at the Haas of Carwin Robb, who is on his out lap and shortly will be starting his flying lap. Carwin Robb, though, let's talk about him for a minute, Oliver. He has had a fantastic season thus far, and it's only round 3, but 2 races, 2 podiums, one of them a win. That, of course, was in the first race, and then last week I believe it was 3rd place, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so Carl Robb, he's gone through a fantastic start to the season right now. Definitely, he did say he's going to push for the championship this year, so hopefully, if results come his way, then definitely, as he goes towards the casino section now, then towards Mirabeau will be after this corner. Mirabeau's a hard corner. It's downhill, it's slightly cambered, and now it's going towards Lowe's Hairpin, the tightest, slowest corner of the track. As he navigates that very well towards the 2 right-handers underneath the bridge. And now we're going towards Nouvelle Chicane. For a little track fact for you, Tim, that Monaco's first Grand Prix, I found this out, was held in the 1920s. There was one of his very first races on this track, and it hasn't been changed. But told by my friend Mansell. It said that the track was unchanged until the new millennium, into the 2000 millennia. So a little track fact for you there.
And it's my understanding that Monaco
Carl Robb went faster, Tim.
Wow, 108.738. Good job to Carwin Robb. Last week he said that the Haas was the fastest car, and I think that he's just determined to make it the fastest car regardless. Morris still second, Calvin third, but only 2 drivers in the 108 at the moment. Let's take a look at Senna Martins. He's on his outlap at the moment. He's one of only 3 drivers who have yet to set a time. Of course, JD Goulet had a issue, and he is DNF'd from this session, so he will not be able to set a time. Senna Martins, he had a little bit of a moment out of the Nouvelle Chicane. Almost spun it, but was able to hang on to it. But what I was saying, Oliver, is it's my understanding that Monaco, out of all the tracks that Formula 1 races at and has raced at for a number of years, Monaco is obviously the oldest, but it's also the one that is mostly unchanged and closest to its original form from the very first race that Formula 1 ran there. So that's also very cool. Of course, as we know, Monaco is just enriched in motorsports and mainly Formula 1 history.
They don't call it the Jordan's F1 calendar for nothing.
And of course, you know, there's a lot of debate on whether the modern F1 cars really belong on this circuit and really whether modern F1 belongs there at all. And, you know, I kind of have to agree in a way that I think that the cars are a bit too wide for Monaco. The races are just really a snooze fest in real life because there's no passing. But I think that if something could be done about that. Yeah, exactly. But if something could be done about that, and I'm not, you know, going to go on a rant about how we need to change regulations or anything. I know that is above my pay grade. I'm going to let the FIA sort that out. But I think that if something could be done with that, as Senna actually hits the wall out of the Nouvelle Chicane, that Monaco could be a fantastic race to have.
Oh,
no!
He
hits the wall again. My goodness.
Same
just not
place
agreeing
for
with this
Senna. It's down at Tabak corner. He's having really struggles on. It's really Tabak is not being friendly for Senna.
So Senna pulls back into the pits. He'll be able to get back out there for another lap, but hopefully it's going to go better than that one. At this point, he just needs to get a banker lap in. But Morris currently in second with a 108.896. He is actually, I think he already completed his flying lap because he's got a lap on those soft tires. So Shoyab in third place there, a 109.94.
Cars on a lap, Tim.
Calvin.
Cara and Calvin are on laps.
So we'll take a look at Cara. McCauley looks like he's on a lap as well there in the Aston Martin. In fact, where is Calvin on the track at the moment? Just behind
Calvin,
Cara.
yeah, just behind him.
So the two Red Bull teammates going out at the same time, but no slipstream today.
Can you really slipstream on this track? Oh, Morris! 10 faster than Carmen. Rob on 2-lap on softs. Wow.
So Morris may be one to watch around here today. Of course, we got
He
to
looks
keep an
strong
eye on
around here.
He does look very strong. Cara about to cross the line. Does he improve his lap time? No. Yes, maybe. A little bit.
What about Calvin? Third place for Calvin.
Oh, and I stand corrected. It is the Williams of Calvin, not the Red Bull of Calvin. The colors are so similar this year. I'm really having trouble locking onto it, but I think I got
Macaulay
it now.
goes up to P5.
Good job for Macaulay there in the Aston Martin.
And Mackett up to P9. What about X-Gamer? He just started his lap.
Well, it looked like he started his second lap. Really, he's got one lap on those softs, or did he just go out on the same tires?
It was it came on fresh softs. He was doing an out lap, and now this one is his actual lap on the tire.
There's a Ferrari teammate of Senna moving out of the way for X-Gamer. Senna on his own. Wow!
Oh
what
no!
was that? Oh my goodness! Now that would have been a miraculous save if he'd have been able to hang on to it, but looked like he just had to back in, hung out there a little too far.
It's been a bad day for Ferrari today, hasn't it?
That it really has. It's starting to look like Brazil 2019, and they haven't even made contact yet.
Wow.
Let's hope that it doesn't turn into Brazil 2019. That's
Well,
the only race that my dog actually reacted to.
The funny thing is, Tim, the only Ferrari that did well here was my brother on Monday, so... And you've been in that race, Tim, when you raced with my brother.
Yeah, and, you know, I want to say congratulations to your brother. He picked up his first SFR win in Monaco on Monday.
Dominated the race as well, didn't he?
Now, that I don't know. I was back there in 10th. I was just fighting for points, which I was able to get. I got 10th place. I got a point in Monaco. That's what matters. And now Monaco's in the rear view. So not sure if he dominated, but he did well.
Come on, Senna. Let's see what you can do, buddy.
Oh, had a moment there, but hung on to it. Let's see what he does through the hairpin.
Let's go through lows now. Nice and tidy.
One thing I'm noticing with the way Senna's driving, the way X-Gamer was driving, and how he spun is that this track, you just have to turn the wheel in such quick movements that sometimes the car just doesn't have enough time to settle. And that's where you're really getting the back end hung out.
Here comes his favourite corner into back. There you go, Senna.
They get so
oh, no!
Congratulations to him, though. Oh, not a congratulations there. I'm sitting here
He's
congratulating him on a great corner, and then he invalidates the lap through the chicane, and I don't think he's going to have enough time to get back out there. I mean, it'd be so close.
Well, damn if you do, damn you don't, isn't it?
I guess so, but let's take a look at Crowhawk in the Alpine. He's on his flying lap. Oh, and he hit the wall, so it's not going to be the best lap for him.
Monaco claiming victims.
That chicane is really not doing anyone any favors, but Luke Bailey on a lap, currently 6th quickest with a 109.192. Just now entering the second sector. Now approaching the hairpin.
Imagine you're in one of those apartments, Tim, and you're looking down there. That's a great sight to watch Formula One.
Oh, it'd be beautiful. I would love to be able to watch Formula One out on my balcony or my porch or something.
It'd be like you think to yourself, Formula One's coming to town. Don't need to buy a ticket. I could just watch it from my house.
Exactly. Just pull the recliner right up to the door of the balcony, put your feet up, and just watch.
Bit of gin, a bit of European French whiskey, or... Oh, sure have! Oh, my word! How on earth did it... Wow, what a lap.
A 108.4 for Shoyab. Luke Bailey, does he improve a little bit, but not in the position of 109.186 for Luke Bailey, so that
but
was...
Morris is a 10 faster. Morris is a 10 faster. He's pushing for the lap.
Oh, and there was a Mercedes in the way. That was his teammate of all people.
No, that was an Aston Martin. That was an Aston Martin of Chain Game. His teammates retired ages ago. And here comes Morris out towards the line. Oh my good golly, what a lap.
A 108.278.
Wow, what a lap for Morris. Did he not win this race last season, Tim? He did, because I was racing engine into last season. He actually won this race last season. Good for back-to-back Monaco victories this season. TRT Trench on a lap.
Take a look at Trench in the Haas here.
Got to keep it on Car and Rob as well, because he's on the lap as well. He's 59 thousandths. Yeah, so 59 thousandths fastest Car and Rob.
Well, I was going to say that the two Haas teammates have a chance to lock out the front row, but it's not going to happen, not for TR Trench anyway, unless he has a good lap this time. Carwin Robb, he's in third, but he does have a chance at least to lock out the front row. Let's see what he does. Oh no, he's going slow through the tunnel, so something has happened to Carwin Robb, and he will not be setting a fast lap.
He just backed off, I think.
He did. He was fourth gear through the tunnel.
Weird. He's got Mackie right behind him. Good work there from Carvin.
And he's not going to be able to make another lap, so there will not be a Haas on the front row. I think Morris might have just got the pole position here, but we still got a lot of drivers out on a lap, so let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Carvin Robb's about to come through. So Mackie just went through. 7 tenths slower. Where's Calvin on track?
He's
invalidated. Yeah.
McCauley's
the 10th fastest. 10 faster. Senna did make a lap, Tim, by the way. 109.9. Senna has completed the lap.
Oh, and McCauley had a moment through the chicane just out of the tunnel, the Nouvelle chicane. He hit that curb and had to dance with the car, was able to hang on to it. So far, so good on the lap time. Here's that final chicane, and he does not invalidate. What a quick lap there. Let's see how McCauley sizes up to the rest of the field. Just one more corner to go, and then a nice DRS straight.
And McCauley comes towards the line. Oh,
He crashed him. What was that?
Okay, that happened.
That it did, Oliver. So McCauley, he sets the lap, but it wasn't a fast lap at all, and he's there stuck and crashed. Let's see who else is on the lap here. I think that might be it, except for Senna. Senna is out on a lap right now, so we'll see if he gets any better.
He's backed off. Looks like he's backed off.
Well, then what we see might be what we get. The only driver not able to set a time was G. Doppo, because J.D. Gallet, unfortunately, had a DNF, so I don't think he even had much of a chance.
Senna Morris, wow. What a lap from him. Well done, Tim. Well done, Morris.
So I do believe that Morris is going to be your official pole sitter for the Monaco Grand Prix. In fact, it is official. It does look that way. Just waiting to run the timer out. But congratulations
to
Morris.
Morris is going for back-to-back victories tonight at Monaco. He's won it last season. He's going to gun it for 2 times in a row.
Well, he's looking strong so far. Your official starting lineup for the GP2 Monaco Grand Prix. Morris in first, Shoyab in second, Carwin Robb in third, Calvin Racing in fourth, McCauley in fifth, Luke Bailey sixth, seventh is Mackett, eighth is Dimkara, Lozak in ninth, Crowhawk in 10th, TRT Trench in 11th, 12th is Senna, 13th is Chain Game Wow, 14th is X Gamer, 15th is JD Galay, and G Dabo is 16th in the McLaren.
Prediction time, I would say, Tim.
Prediction time indeed, and I am going to go in any order. Morris, Rob, and Calvin.
Morris. I am going to say Morris, Carmen, Rob, and you know what? I'm going for an outsider. I am going to say JD Galay.
So I have a little bit of update from Macaulay. Apparently his wheel died, and that's what happened there at the very end. Not sure if he was set for a pole lap, not sure if he was even going to be able to improve his starting position, but very unfortunate to have that happen. But if it's going to happen, it's best to happen in qualifying.
Okay, so just wait for 18 seconds to go until we get underway. So do you think Morris can do it, Tim? Do you think he can go for back-to-back Monaco victories?
I think so, Oliver. We were talking about how this is a qualifying track, and it is a little bit different in SFR than it is in the real-life Formula 1, so I expect there to be a little bit more passing than what maybe we're used to. But nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that it's so hard to pass here, and Morris has the best starting spot of them all. I think that as long as he can keep a consistent pace, that he will be able to win this race.
Chain Game Well, Tim, went for the Psychomich.
Ah, yes, Psychomich things. Let's never change. Always have Psychomich things. And honestly, that might be a good strategy. Starting in 13th and starting on those hard tires. He can go for a very, very long time on those hard tires and then pit for the softs at the very end when everyone's tires are worn out. If we get a late race safety car, then Chain Game Wow, if he can find a way to get around the cars in front of him, might be one to watch.
Yeah, I would say so too, because you think hard tires for Chain Game Wow, if he can go a long distance, I would say that if it works out for him, he can go for a hard soft strategy, go for the one stop. I really think that Chain Game Wow could be a contender today, if he gets out of trouble, of course.
We will have to wait and see. Already had some trouble on the formation lap, but that's okay because the drivers will just be transported to the grid with their car fully intact and ready to race. One thing I noticed I want to point out is, and I didn't notice this until just now, was that there is a Niki Lauda tribute just before you enter the tunnel for the camera to see, and I just think that that's such a nice, just a nice little touch because, of course, you know, we know that we lost the great Niki Lauda, you know, just before the Monaco Grand Prix. Not
2019.
But yes, 2019. And I think that that was just a really hard loss for everyone in Formula One because he was such a legendary person, a legendary driver, and very much respected in the Formula One paddock. And personally, I credit him and his story with James Hunt as one of the reasons I got into Formula One. So that was an unfortunate loss for myself as well, just from a fan's perspective. So it's nice to see a tribute to Niki Lauda. But the drivers are on the grids, and you hear
Here we go, baby!
You hear those itchy pedal feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air!
And the glitched.
No red lights. We are green for the GP2 Series Monaco Grand Prix. Morris leads him down into turn number 1, and it is already 3 wide. The Mercedes. Was that Mercedes or the Aston Martin trying to put it 3 wide there?
That was Macaulay. And Macaulay did well to keep back out of it.
Macaulay hits the wall, though. He hit the wall. I don't think he has wing damage. He is okay, but Macaulay, no, he's dropping back. He's back into 5th now. So Macaulay is filed in line behind Calvin Racing. Carwin Robb still in 3rd.
Lubanian problems. I can see his car just at Mirabeau. Oh, it's been massive accidents before. The nose hairpin, loads of cars braking, checking each other. And that's a big problem for them. Look at Cheyenne Tim all over the back of Morris. Nouvelle Chicane.
Oh, and side by side into the chicane. Contact. Shoyab has to cut the chicane. No penalty for him, but probably a warning. But you know what? That probably just worked out perfect for him, and he gives the position back, actually.
Oh! Fair play to Shoyab, giving the place back to Morris, but now it's a 1.2 second gap, and Calvin's all over him.
Now, Oliver, what do you think he was instructed to give the position back? Or did he just do that off of his own? Because if he wasn't instructed, I wouldn't imagine him doing that.
I wouldn't think so, but I think in my mind, I think when it comes to Shoyab, if he wants it to be fair, I think he did it on his own accord there. So I think, well, fair play to Shoyab there.
Because in the Bahrain Grand Prix this year, we saw Max Verstappen overtake Lewis Hamilton off the track, and he was ordered to give the position back. However, this is very different from the real-life Formula 1. Not sure if something like that would have occurred for Shoyab, but if he did give it back on his own merit, first off, good sportsmanship. Second off, can't believe he gave up the lead.
Look how many cars are in the pits, Tim, after the first lap.
Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars pitting. So 7 cars have had incidents. 7 cars have already had a bad Monaco race.
Not over till the fat lady sings, Tim.
No, but you know what? Monaco is its own person, so I just don't think it's over until Monaco sings.
You know what? That's a very good point.
Like you do not finish Monaco. Monaco tells you when you can leave. That is just how it is.
Senna!
Oh, and that's a shame. He had worked his way up to 8th place. Oh my goodness, and Shoyab wrecks from the lead. Or from 2nd place, chasing the leader, all the way down to 5th now. Likely some wing damage, can't get a good camera angle on it.
No, yes, wing damage. And it's going to do the entire lap without a front wing.
Yeah, I was about to say, Oliver, he doesn't have wing damage. He just doesn't have a front wing.
Oh, no. Well, Calvin has got to chase him down now.
Carmen Rob's chasing down Calvin, though, so I don't know how much chasing Calvin can really do in that Williams.
So, a lot of things have changed, isn't it, Tim?
It's already been an insane race. It's only lap 3. Has DRS even officially been activated yet? I think it probably
has
about the
now,
time
yes.
that Shoyab was wrecking, so I didn't see that. But, yeah, lap 3, DRS should be active, so, you know, we didn't even need DRS to have the insane battles in the Turn 1 happen.
I think the only way you can win this race, Tim, is keeping your car 100% intact for 39 laps. And that's not easy.
No, it really is not. I mean, it's so easy to pick up wing damage here, and it's not even through anyone's fault except the drivers, because it's so easy to just make a mistake. This is a tiny, narrow little circuit.
And Carmen Rob all over the back of Calvin. Wow.
And one thing
Nozak, 3 seconds.
One thing I'm noticing by watching these faster drivers and getting a good look at their onboards is that Monaco, you can be consistent, you can be precise, you can be a great driver, but none of that matters if you are not unnaturally brave. I'm seeing how these cars are twitching and how these guys are just throwing it into the corner, just trusting that it sticks. And it's just an entirely different world as opposed to any other track. So to do well at Monaco, you have to be brave.
It's all about steering input. Steering input, the right throttle input, the right braking input. And of course, like you said, Tim, bravery is a massive key word. It's all about all of that here at Monaco. We've got a bit of a training car behind Cara at the moment. We've got a big train behind Cara.
So I guess you could say it is the Cara train, chugga choo choo with the 3, 4, 5 car train. 6 cars. My goodness, Oliver, you weren't lying. There's a lot of cars behind him.
Oh, Cara looks like he's going for a move. On Calvin, Daniel Son into Mirabeau. Oh, and almost had it. But Seneca's in the room. No, Calvin just fends him off.
Fair play to Carwin Robb, though. He saw a gap, he tried to go for it, didn't work, and he knew when to back off. So that was smart driving from Carwin Robb. It's not wrong to go for a gap that might close. You just have to recognize when it's about to close so you can back off and not ruin your race.
And it just, if you're going to make a move, you've got to be committed. Look at Calvin sticking his car in the middle of the track, making Car and Rob think.
And you know, this isn't Calvin's first rodeo. He's definitely ran this race a time or two. He's ran a lot of races a time or two. You and I, we've actually raced against him, at least in one race, the classic car race at Monaco.
Oh, he's coming in.
Yeah, Calvin pits from second place. Not sure what's happening there.
Is it an early stop? Because I don't see any front wing damage on the Williams, so it's going to be a very early stop.
Trying to do a super undercut.
Oh, it's a front wing change for Calvin. He has bumped the wall.
Oh, that's a shame, and that honestly might explain the 4-second gap that Morris had over him. So Carwin Robb just couldn't get by him because the wing damage was just impeding Calvin that much.
So the other fights now, like you said, is behind the car train.
But it looks like he's going to exit in the 4th position, so Calvin did not lose a lot of spots, but a lot of valuable time. And you are right, the car train is coming up just behind him. Of course, looks like something's, well, not necessarily something wrong with Cara, but I'd say that he's having the same problem that I was having. It just feels like his tires cannot go into the corners because I'm watching him, and he is taking it so gingerly, just like I did in the race on Monday. So I'd say that those tires aren't feeling the best for Cara.
I would say so. It would take a few laps or so for the tires to work, especially on the hard tire. I mean, I definitely felt it in GP3 when I had the pace, and then I conked it into the wall and, of course, DNF'd. So, it takes a while, but once you get the tires up to speed, and I think Shoyab is having a look at Trench here, down on the outside into Nouvelle Chicane, gives a bit of a squeeze. That's the second time Shoyab has done that, and he's not giving the place up this time to Trench.
Trench running in 9th right now. Chain Game Wow, though, we were talking about how he started on the hards. Apparently, he was one of those drivers who had to pit on the first lap, so he's made his way up to 10th regardless after starting 13th. So no matter how you look at it, Chain Game Wow, he has actually came out ahead of this deal.
Not to mention the fact he had a bump in the first lap as well.
Looks like McCauley has just picked up a time penalty, and Lozak has picked up a time penalty as well. Let's take a look at
Look at Shoyab. Oh, Shoyab was all over the back and rear end of X Gamer.
Just switched to the onboard of Shoyab as he was trying to correct a spin, so it got very close for Shoyab in that AlphaTauri.
He's already caught X Gamer up really, really quickly, so he wants to get past his hard time runners really, really quickly, so he can make some time up.
So let's see how he does through the tunnel here. If you can get a good exit out of that corner, you can set yourself up pretty for the tunnel, but that's the thing, you have to be perfect. And you saw how much he gained on X Gamer there, but by the time he got to the chicane, he had to back out of it, just not close enough to really make a move. So it's almost like you have to be glued to the back of the car as you exit that corner. Oh, wow, and both of them having a moment. X Gamer hit the wall, Shoyab having to correct the car.
Now, if you thought these guys were like, oh no, X Gamer went wide, and in Raskas, no front wing damage on the Ferrari, but here comes Shoyab, Tim.
This is going to be Shoyab's chance. He looks to the outside. Oh, and then X Gamer blocks him. Shoyab can't do anything about it, so Shoyab has to stay behind X Gamer now. Up the hill, though, it is Shoyab on the back of X Gamer, almost touching, almost contact. Shoyab goes underneath him. He goes underneath him. He's able to pass him. My goodness, what a miraculous move from Shoyab. Move him up into 7th. X Gamer dropping back, loses 1 spot, maybe 2 spots. Not yet. TR Trench trying to set his sights on the Ferrari now. Something definitely wrong with X Gamer. Not sure if he's got any front wing damage. I don't see it. Oh, but he might have some now. He hit the wall out of the hairpin. That car just not wanting to turn. The Ferrari, oh, contact with the Haas. TR Trench goes around. X Gamer drops the 10.
X Gamer's lost the front wing.
McLaren of G Dabo.
X Gamer's lost the wing. X Gamer's lost the wing.
Oh, what a shame for X Gamer. I mean, he was having a rough go of it, but to lose the entire front wing, that just adds insult to injury.
Oh, what's going on with Chain Game? Chain Game is slow, and it's having got Godobo and New Bailey, and Chain Game, wow!
Oh, and TR Trench
is gone! Oh my goodness
Virtual
me!
Safety car under the lights at Monaco after TR Trench wrecks.
Look at the Alphas. The Alfa Romeos are pitting the same time. They're going to double stack.
And for Luke Bailey, this was probably the best time virtual safety car that he could have had. For Lozak, not so much.
Well, what a chaotic lap 8.
Chaotic indeed, Oliver. Honestly, Lozak probably should have stayed out. But no matter how you look at it, he's probably going to lose some time. Both Luke Bailey and Lozak get a front wing change and are going on the hard tires. Looks like it's a fresh set of hards for Luke Bailey. Or no, a fresh set of mediums for Luke Bailey, excuse me, and then a semi-fresh set of hards for Lozak. Getting my wires crossed a little bit.
Now, this is the thing. Oh, car is out! Car is out in the tunnel! Car is out in the tunnel!
So what has happened to Carr riding on board with the McLaren and G Dabo? Maybe we can catch a glimpse of the car before it's cleaned up. The car, he was running well. I mean, what was he, 6th, 7th? At the moment, he's 7th before G Dabo passes him, but not sure what could have happened, especially under safety car conditions, or virtual safety car, rather.
We're about to get a shot of it. Oh, it just disappeared just before we're about to see it. Never mind.
So G Dabo moves up into 7th place, and let's put this into perspective for the viewers. G Dabo started dead last in a 16-car field, and he's already worked his way up into 7th place.
So, Macaulay on the back of Calvin now. This is one of our closer fights. But did you notice something, Tim, with Morris and Carrin, by the way? They put it underneath the safety car, virtual safety car, and they keep their positions. They could have timed that more perfectly, and they were due to stop at the same time as well.
So that really worked out perfect for Morris and Carwin Robb. So
you couldn't ask for it much more, really.
Normally the team would be dejected, and that was an Alfa Romeo. Lozak DNF. Lozak just went off into turn number 1. I saw him go off as Carwin Robb went through there, but not sure exactly what happened. So maybe we're going to get another virtual safety car, but Lozak just went straight off the track in the runoff area.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's ride on board with Carwin Robb here for just a moment. Let's see how he takes these corners in as he takes the Nouvelle chicane. Just ahead of him, of course, is Morris in the Mercedes. Looks like they're approaching some lap traffic, though. That should not be a factor. So there goes Morris through the chicane, and now Carwin Robb approaches it, getting very close, using that curve a little bit, but being very close not to catch a time penalty or a warning. And then a nice tight entry on the inside, letting the car drift wide to the outside, then through this chicane, make it as straight a line as possible. Been a very slow speed set of corners here before you can just floor it down the straightaway. Be careful not to have wheel spin, though. Maybe floor is not the best term to use, but easily get on the gas and hope you don't spin. How is that one? That's at least my strategy. It seems to work.
So, if you were Carwin Robb right now, Tim, and you're thinking you're behind Morris, is dirty air going to be a factor?
I think it's definitely going to be a factor. I mean, Monaco is one of the shorter tracks, and it seems like aerodynamics may not be as big of an issue here, but to say that it isn't at all would just be wrong. I think that dirty air is going to be a factor for Carwin Robb. I think that's one of the reasons why it's so hard to pass here. That, and of course, you know, the only DRS straight that we really have is the front straightaway, and it's such a difficult set of corners before that that it's hard to get a good run on your competitor. But mix that in with dirty air, yeah, it's going to be not a good time for Carwin Robb. And he is gaining on Morris at the moment. He's within a second. So he might be able to get DRS down this straightaway if he is quick. But just as I say that, he lost a lot of time.
Yeah. So we're looking at Luke Bailey is just called to the back of Dobbo, but we are looking at Carwin Robb and Morris.
Now, the Mercedes just ahead of Carwin Robb, I think, is a lapped Mercedes. And was that a Williams actually stuck in turn 1? I think it is, maybe. Or in the first sector, rather. There was a brief yellow flag. Looks like it's okay now. Maybe the Williams just had a moment and is now
I think they just lapped Crowhawk, I think, Tim.
Ah, okay, so that was the Alpine stuck there. Carwin Robb, he went by it so fast I couldn't quite figure out what constructor that was. But I think that the Mercedes just ahead.
Oh, was it an Alpine? Yeah, it was. Well, I don't know, actually. Yeah, it was an Alpine of Crowhawk. Yeah, I was right. Look at Carmen Rob, Tim. He's giving that. Oh, JD Galay's out in the Mercedes. And Chicane was out.
So what's happened to Chicane?
Safety car is out.
Now, this is the first safety car we've had all week, I believe, Oliver.
Yeah, we are the first guys to have the safety car.
There was some discussion amongst the drivers and the admins wondering, oh, and look at JD Galay, you see what happened there. He lost it down the straightaway, got into the wall, and the car is done. Chicane, wow, not sure what happened to him there. Looked like maybe he had a moment just out of turn 1.
I think in my mind, Tim, I think what happened with JD Galay, no, so a chain game, I think he lit up the rears and then smacked it onto the left-hand side of the wall, and then he went night-night afterwards. So we are going to reset him. We are going to reset. This should be fun.
And there are now only 10 cars left in this race, which means that everyone else on track right now that is still running will score points.
Definitely, indeed.
So Morris has ran a fantastic race so far, led every lap, absolutely dominated. He should be able to go the rest of the way on tires. It might be a little bit close, but somehow I was actually able to go that far on the medium tires, I do believe, if I remember correctly. Of course, for some reason, Jeff wanted to do a soft to medium strategy. I wanted to do soft to hards, but regardless, we'll see what works out for Carwin, Rob, and Morris. Both of them on 4-lap old medium tires. Macaulay back there in third. He has got 11 laps on those medium tires. So, and he had to pit very early on for a new front wing, but good to see him able to make his way up to third. But he does have a time penalty. We'll take a look and see what that's for. 3 seconds for the time penalties, as well as Shoyab and G. Dabo. Mackett in fourth. He is kind of just hung out in the top 5 all day.
Shoyab, Tim, will be a bit of a factor because he's on the freshest tires of everyone else. Do you think Shoyab's going to be a factor?
I think he could. We've seen Shoyab. We know he's quick around here, and he does have 3 seconds for the time penalty, so he's going to be looking to overcome that gap over whoever is behind him at any given position that he runs in toward the end of this race. So Shoyab going on these fresh set of mediums here, I think is going to help him out a lot, especially when you consider that ahead of him you've got guys that are 5 laps on those medium tires, which, okay, that's not a lot, but then Macaulay in third with 12 laps on the tires right now. That is going to be the real kicker. Macaulay could actually make or break the guys' races behind him just because of how old those tires are, because he's definitely not going to get as good of a launch as Morris and Carwin Robb. And we know that Morris and Carwin Robb are definitely the class of the field today. So even if they were on equal set of tires, I'm not sure Macaulay could get quite as good of a launch as them. But considering that he has got the oldest tires in the race right now, if he doesn't get a good start, then he could ruin his race, he could ruin Mackett's, he could ruin Calvin's races, he could ruin a lot of drivers' races. But if he gets a good start, then this strategy could really play off for him.
You did, because if Macaulay gets a good start, then he'll be a factor. He'll definitely be a main factor in this race. It's just a matter of the fact if he can get a good start. If he doesn't, it's going to be a massive roadblock to Kyle Rob and Morris, for Kyle Rob and Morris to get away. As the safety car is coming in this lap, Tim, they're all yours.
Morris will lead Carwin Robb down into turn number 1. We'll ride on board with Carwin Robb just as they start and go green. A little bit of
As Macaulay didn't get a good start at 1.1, he almost hit the wall.
So the Red Bull of Mackett just behind Macaulay there. Looks like there's an Alpine. That is a lapped car just ahead of him. That might be Crowhawk, but he was on the back bumper of Macaulay there for just a moment. Mackett trying to get around this Alpine. Of course, it's going to be very easy because he is a lapped car. But it looks like Crowhawk has a tiny bit of pace.
Look at Carwin Robb, Tim. He's all over the back of Morris.
We're going to ride on board with Carwin Robb for a little while. Watch his battle with Morris as they go through the tunnel and approach the Nouvelle Chicane. No run for Carwin Robb that time.
So yeah, I would say Morris right now, if he can hold on to this lead, he can really play into his hands. If he used the Monaco track to his biggest defense, he could definitely win this race.
Well, he's got a chance at DRS here, except it's not active yet. Otherwise, that could have been his moment. So, unfortunate for Carwin Robb. He really needed the DRS in that moment. If he can stay this close to Morris, he might be able to get around him. But it's really going to come down to these two drivers, I do believe. Unless they try to pass each other and wreck out, then who knows who it's going to be.
So, Carwin needs to be smart. He needs to be smart. He needs to keep Morris under pressure, and he needs to be the biggest nuisance to Morris he is ever going to get. Don't forget, Tim, you said Cairo wants to be the fastest Haas. Well, he's not kidding. He's making the Haas really quick. Imagine he was an actual F1 driver making the Haas that quick. That'd be amazing.
That'd be impossible. Like, I'm sorry, but that would just be impossible with the current Haas car. So I'm glad to see that at least Carwin Robb can have a good race. Of course, we run equal performance here in SFR, so it's all about the driver and a little bit of luck.
A little bit of spirit. So, yeah, like I said before, Carwin Robb needs to be like the biggest nuisance to Morris. Keep him under pressure and force him into an error. That's what he needs to do.
And it would just take a tiny mistake on Morris's part to really open the door for Carwin Robb. There are a few more overtaking opportunities than what we really will give Monaco credit for, but the kicker is that it relies on the guy in front making a massive mistake.
It's all down to the driver. It's all down to the driver for this one.
So let's watch as they both go through the hairpin, just how slow they have to go, and pretty much to a crawling pace compared to the rest of the track, as Crowhawk is retired from this session. Looks like he retired just before the pit entry, so maybe he had a crash there. Yellow flag in Sector 3, but it will likely be cleaned up by the time the leaders reach that part of the racetrack. Carwin Robb, Morris still running close together. DRS may be activated this lap. We'll wait and see. But Carwin Robb will not have the benefit of the DRS this time around regardless. Oh, I stand corrected. DRS was activated this last lap, so he does have DRS. And he was still not able to get around Morris.
So Morris right now, he's again playing the defense game, playing the track to his advantage, making that Mercedes as wide as the brick wall of China, and he needs to be the biggest big wall of China he's ever going to get. So, Carwin Robb, if he wants to get past Morris, he needs to find the smallest gap in that wall if he can find. And right now, Morris does not give him any leeway.
Looking on back, we do have a few more battles going on. Calvin getting close to Mackett, so it's Williams versus Red Bull here. Of course, McCauley and the Aston Martin just ahead of them. And Luke, oh my goodness, and there was some contact between, who was that actually? There was, I think that was some communication issue.
Yeah. Was that Sherman Calvin Mackey, I believe?
That's what it looked like, but I didn't think that they were close enough. There might have just been some sort of communication issue there, because it did look a little bit jumpy, so there might have been a little bit of a glitch.
Bit of a lag issue. Oh, there was contact. Mackey's in. So you were not wrong there, Tim. Mackey's in.
So Mack in a new front wing and the medium tires. We'll go back to the battle between Shoyab and Calvin. Calvin, of course, running in the 5th position right now after Mackett pitted for those fresh set of medium tires.
So right now, it's all down to Carwin Robb and Morris. They're the leaders at the moment. The closest fights at the moment is Macaulay, Shoyab, and Calvin. That's the bigger fight at the moment. Battle for 3rd. And like you said, Tim, it's a 17-lap-old mediums. I don't know if they'll get to the end. That's pushing it.
It might be. It might really be pushing it, Oliver. I know that I was able to make the medium tires last a long time on Monday, but my pace compared to these guys' pace is quite the difference. So where my pace might be possible, these guys not sure, but there was almost contact between Calvin and Shoyab. This battle is just getting better.
And McCauley's in. The tires are dead. McCauley's are in. And look at Conor Robb on the back of Morris. Oh, it's close, but Morris just has enough. Have you seen the gap that these two pulled out here, by the way?
A 10-second gap over third place, and I just want to say, that's even, whoa, Carwin Robb! A slip, a slide, a dance, and a save. Congratulations, Carwin Robb. Whether or not he wins the race, that's a winning move right there. I don't know if you saw that, Oliver, but going down
I
that
did.
hill,
I was running on board with him. The car had massive oversteer on the exit of that right-hander, and he literally lifted off the throttle and counter-steered to a way that the car is going forced back into line. Good save for Carwin Robb.
Today is a day of congratulations to these drivers from myself, simply because I congratulate every driver every time they complete a lap at Monaco, because that in itself is a miracle. But what I was about to say regarding the gap is that it's very impressive that they were able to reach a 10-second gap over third place. That shows how fast these guys are. But what's more impressive is that it's not just one of them, it's both of them. They have both pretty much locked themselves to each other, and they have just kept going forward. Of course, Carwin Robb wants to be out in front of Morris. I'll even dare say that Carwin Robb might be a little bit quicker than Morris, maybe, but they're both about equal pace. And they're just so much faster than everyone else around here that it's impressive that they have both been able to stay this close together for this long. It shows how consistent they are.
You know what reminds me of, Tim? 2019 Monaco, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton. That's giving me vibes.
And that was an impressive battle. Of course, we know how that ended up. Lewis Hamilton, his tires definitely not feeling good to him. He's complaining over the radio that the tires are just absolutely dead. But Max Verstappen, despite giving his all, still only finished in second place. And to be fair, Max almost had Lewis in the Nouvelle Chicane. He locked it up hard, but Lewis still was just able to win out.
Are you going to watch the Belgian Grand Prix live this weekend, ladies and gentlemen? F1 is returning.
F1's returning this weekend.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be another day of trying to stay awake for me and watch this race. But where is it?
It's in Belgium.
I can't miss that one. I cannot miss that one. I got to stay awake. I will be drinking 5 energy drinks if I have to. I'll tell you this right now. I'll be watching the Formula One race in my bathroom because those energy drinks are going to absolutely kill my stomach. So I'm going to be screaming for 2 reasons. 1, because I'm in pain, and 2, because Vettel probably won't be doing well.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, it is painful to be a Vettel fan, especially after coming off of a
Oh, Morris hit the wall! Morris has tagged the wall! Has he got wing damage? Oh, that Mercedes looks okay for now.
These guys, they're just still going at it, and honestly, I don't think we've had a lot of position changes in the back. G. Daba, though, noticing that he's finally worked his way up into the 5th position. So good job on him, but let's take a look at these time penalties, Oliver, because they just keep racking up. 6 seconds for Shoyab in 3rd, so his podium could be in jeopardy. He's 9.9 seconds behind Carwin Robb, but only 1.6 ahead of Calvin. G. Dabo 3 seconds, as well as Luke Bailey, X-Gamer, and McCauley. All of those drivers with 3-second penalties. Shoyab is the real loser there with 6 seconds.
Shoyab has been pushing hard with the overtakes, and now the closest battle is, well, it's not surprising as these two.
Oh, and Carwin Robb really sent it through the Nouvelle Chicane there. I thought he was going to make contact with Morris, but he kept him off the back of him. Morris almost hit the wall through there, though. Not sure if you saw that, Oliver. He got a little close, but also a little bit of a wiggle indeed. So to say that these cars are driving well would probably be an overstatement, simply because I say that they're not driving well. They're just driving well enough.
I had to say, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. These guys Oh, is Kyron finally going for the move here? No, not enough just yet.
Though, contact into one. Carwin Robb pushed Morris into one. Almost got into the wall, and Carwin Robb almost spun it into the wall himself. Both of them still going. No wing damage on any car as far as I can tell, but you could barely fit a piece of paper between these two guys. My goodness, this is insane. Morris dives down low. Might have actually hit that bump.
My word! I tell you what, Kyron decided, you know what, enough's enough. I'm going to attack this Mercedes. Everything I give him. Wow.
And I think that Carwin Robb is doing a little more than just attacking this Mercedes. Carwin Robb brought a whole army, and he put it under the hood of that Haas, and they are just charging forward.
No move into the Nouvelle Chicane. Oh, he's got a penalty!
3-second time penalty for Carwin Robb through the Nouvelle Chicane. That is what Morris wanted to see.
Right, now the pressure's going to be on. Carwin Robb is going to put all the pressure in the world on Morris to get that penalty back in the favour for these two to be duelling. Because right now, it's advantage Morris.
Carwin Robb, he has DRS, but it's not long enough to make the move. But he hits him out of turn number one. Still, he had a run, but couldn't go around him. Still rubbing him. Oh my goodness, he actually pushed him through the corner.
He's pushing him. He's trying to get in front of Morris as he knows there's no penalty.
Carwin Robb makes the move on the inside, has to back out of it before he hits the wall. Approaching the hairpin, though. Is he going to try to make another move? No, he does not, and definitely the smart move there. But through the tunnel at the Nouvelle Chicane, what will Carwin Robb do? We saw him get a time penalty the last time, so now he knows that he cannot mess about. He has to get around Morris, and he has to get at least 3 seconds ahead of him if he's going to win this race. But through the Nouvelle Chicane, there's going to be no move this time.
This is so intense. So intense.
We are keeping the camera locked on the onboard of Carwin Robb. This is obviously the best view of this battle. And he's going to have the DRS out of this corner. This might be his chance. Does he get a better exit, though? No, Morris got a much better exit than Carwin Robb.
What an exit from Morris.
But Carwin Robb gets a better exit out of turn one most of the time. This time they were about even. Carwin Robb a little bit faster up the hill, though.
He's going to try again into Mirabeau. Get in the inside of that muck.
Oh, and Morris saw it coming. He saw it coming. He dived down the block, and Carwin Robb makes the move anyway. They're going to be side by side, approaching the hairpin. Oh, and Carwin Robb has to back out of it. The smart move there, tries to do a crossover, can't get it to stick.
I'll tell you now, this is brilliant. These two are brilliant. Wow. What a fight.
Through the Nouvelle Chicane one more time. Lap 27 of 39, so 14 laps to go still in this race. Has anyone actually told those guys that? Do they know it's 14 laps to go, or do they think it's just the last lap repeating itself?
I think so. But as they keep on fighting, to look, Shoyab is there, 4.8 seconds. He's gaining onto it because these two are fighting.
But remember, Shoyab, he's got 6 seconds worth of time penalties, and that's not going to do him any favors when we get to the end here. He's in third place right now, but that is in some serious jeopardy. If the race were to end right now, he would finish in fourth place at best.
He's doing his best to get away from Calvin. And here we go again.
Carwin Robb making the inside. Oh, and some contact between the two. This time, Carwin Robb edges ahead. Does he back out of it? No! Side by side through the hairpin, approaching the tunnel turn. And Carwin Robb is edged ahead of Morris, and he clears it. Move Carwin Robb up into the first position.
What a move from Carwin Robb. Talk about commitment. That was amazing.
I have no words. I have no words for what I just saw.
You don't make moves into that.
You don't make moves around the outside into the hairpin, and he still did it, and he got the position.
That is commitment on itself. Now Kyron needs to get away, make 3 seconds out of Morris. You know Morris is going to be really upset about that.
That is God tier driving right there. That is just so impressive. I am at a loss for words for what I just saw.
I'll tell you now, that could be the overtake of the season. That was amazing.
Oliver, that could be the overtake for the win. He is in first right now, but 3 seconds worth of time penalties, but he has already put 1.4 seconds between him and Morris. I thought Carwin Robb was a little faster than Morris. I didn't think he was that much faster.
He's giving GP1 a little bit of a showing here. He's going to try and give GP1 a little message. Probably for next season, maybe.
I'm almost wondering maybe he needs to be in GP1 this season.
Nah, he's going for the GP2 championship, Tim. Oh, Morris has got the penalty. Now it's uneven.
That is exactly what Carwin Robb wanted to see, but he can't be celebrating yet. He has to wait until the end. He has to get that car around for just a few more laps.
I still can't get over that move that Carwin Robb did.
Oliver, that was just what we just saw. I think is SFR history. That is something that people are going to be talking about for a long time in this league. I don't think that has ever been done. I've never seen that in SFR. I've never seen that in other leagues that I've commentated for. I'm not saying that it hasn't been done ever out of all the leagues that race. But out of the ones that I've commentated for and the ones that I've raced in and the ones that I've just been exposed to, I've never seen a move around the hairpin on the outside line actually work. So let's go back and take a look at McCauley now.
X Gamer!
Oh, and he goes around X Gamer.
Well, that fight lasted long.
X Gamer does have 21 laps on those medium tires. That is a long time, and with 10 laps to go, he is just going to not have a good time. But the worst he can do is 8th.
I'd say, what a race. What a race.
What a race indeed, Oliver. Carwin Robb making a move around the outside. Only 8 cars left. It's pretty much been a battle of attrition at this point. Looks like G Dabo's trying to make a move around X Gamer now, but is he able to get it? No, he is not. Oh, he does. He does. My goodness. So X Gamer is just really slow into these corners. I think that he is. Oh my goodness. I hate to say it. That might have been what I looked like on Monday. I mean, X Gamer, he's just trying to limp around and survive at this point, and there's just no grip on those tires whatsoever. He has decided to give up the ghost. He is pulling in, so might as well put a fresh set of softs, go for the fastest lap, because he's already going to get points.
I think we need to calm down now. I think the race is starting to sort of settle down now.
That it is. 2 seconds between Carwin Robb and Morris, 2 seconds between Shoyab and Morris, 7 seconds between Shoyab and Calvin. So, and actually that works out pretty well for Shoyab, because that means that as long as he still only has 6 seconds, that he can hold on to his podium position. In fact, here are the time penalties. 3 seconds for Carwin Robb, for Morris, for McCauley, for G Dabo, for Luke Bailey, and X Gamer, but only 6 seconds for Shoyab. So that is relatively unchanged. Shoyab able to extend his gap over Calvin to 8.6 seconds now. So if he can keep this pace, Shoyab will be our 3rd place finisher. But we still have a long way to go. 8 laps remaining. Lap 32 of 39 for the GP2 Speed Force Racing Monaco Grand Prix. And
Calvin's left the session. He's lagged.
Oh my goodness.
Calvin's lagged out.
So we'll see if Calvin can get back in the driver's seat of that car. And meanwhile, we'll take a look at G Dabo, who is approaching McCauley. 1.4 seconds now. G Dabo on semi-fresh softs. 3 laps on those soft tires. And realistically, they can last about 10 laps around this racetrack. Give or take a lap.
Tim, look at Shoyab. It might be 6 seconds, but he might pressure Morris into another penalty mistake.
That he could, and if he did that, then all he'd have to do is get around Morris.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, it's Shoyab! Shoyab into the wall, out of the session. I said if he kept the pace, he'd get 3rd. He did not keep the pace. Oliver, you saw that coming. I was changing to him right as it happened. Tell us what happened.
Well, that is that swimming pool section. He got too much in the power, I believe, or too much steering input, made the rear end. Completely went on screwy happy, and, well, the rest is history. Spin around like a bottle top, into the wall, out of the race.
And I'm not sure if Calvin has been able to get back into the driver's seat of his car or not, but he has pitted regardless. Not sure what tire he's going to go for.
Shoyab. Yeah, Shoyab did have a good time on that one, but look at Godolmo, Tim. Did you just say minutes ago that Godolmo started last, and now he's pushing on Macaulay for third? What the hell?
Exactly. Godolmo was that tiny little hair on the end of the dog's tail, and now he is all the way in fourth place. I mean, what? I know that Monaco is a battle of attrition and a battle of survival, but to go from 16th to 4th, no matter how you done it, is just impressive. Now, still, lap 34 of 39, we saw it happen with Shoyab. We can see it happen with Godolmo. Would hate to see that happen for him, especially since he's got such a good run, but realistically, Godolmo could even get a podium here if penalties allow for that. In fact, Macaulay with 6 seconds and Godolmo with only 3 seconds. If the race were to end at this very moment, Oliver, then Macaulay would be fourth and Godolmo would be third. So Godolmo is actually racing for a podium here. What we're watching is the battle for the podium.
From Godolmo, he talk about not giving up, and he's actually pushing for third. This is a brilliant drive from Godolmo. Tim, have you got any predictions of your driver today? Is it Carl and Rob? Is it Godolmo? Or
it is Godolmo all day long. If Godolmo turned left into the wall right now in DNF, he would still be my driver of the day. It is just impressive what I've been able to see him do from 16th to 4th.
I mean, that's impressive. In Monaco as well. Talk about not giving up.
Lap
2 laps to go.
Of 39, Carwin Robb still leads SFR Morris.
7.5 seconds. Wow, Carwin Robb's quick.
He really is quick, Oliver. And like I said earlier, I knew he was quick. I thought he was maybe even faster than Morris, but I thought that they were equal pace. I thought that at the most, Carwin Robb would be a second ahead of him after a few laps. Carwin Robb was almost 2 seconds ahead of him after one full lap. That just goes to show that the driver in this Haas, he is determined and he is quick and he is leading the points. He is very much a threat for this title even this early in the season.
Indeed. I totally agree on that one, Tim. Couldn't agree with you more. If Carl Robb was consistent enough for the season, he's the favourite for the championship.
Well, if the race were to end right now, it would be 3 races, 2 wins, and 3 podiums for Carwin Robb. So how do you like that for statistics?
Well, we come towards the final stages now. It's going to be Carwin Robb for the victory. Look at Godolmo, he's putting Macaulay all sorts of pressure. He doesn't really need to be honest, because he can easily get him on penalties, but does he going to get on merit? Does he want to get on merits, or is he playing for penalties?
I don't think it matters as long as you're able to get the podium. That's the real thing that matters. But if this race were to end right now, then Godolmo would most definitely be on the podium in that 3rd place position. But I'm sure that there is definitely just a little bit of I guess, personal respect that you give to yourself for being able to do it on merit.
I think so. It's all down to it. It's all down to the will of the driver. All down to if you want it more than anything. And well, Carl Robb certainly wanted. Oh no, Macaulay spins!
Spun in front of him. That was Macaulay. So Macaulay spun, and honestly, Godolmo got very lucky there. He could have easily picked up another time penalty for cutting that chicane, but he had no choice because Macaulay spun in front of him. Macaulay recovers, and he's still running in 4th, but with that 6 seconds worth of time penalties, he might even lose out. He might not even get 4th here.
Look at this, Tim. We have 16 drivers and only 7 remaining. Wow. That's mad. So that 37 out of 39.
And it's really not much of a gap anymore, or not much of a battle anymore because the gap is so great. I keep getting my wires crossed here, but Carwin Robb in first, second place Morris 10 seconds behind third place, 14 seconds behind second is Gadabo, and then 3.5 seconds behind third is McCauley in fourth, and 14 seconds behind fourth is Luke Bailey. And then sixth is Calvin, 23 seconds back, and then X Gamer 37 seconds behind him in seventh. Every other driver has DNF'd, but 3 of those DNFs will still get points.
So, penultimate lap. X Gamer retires for. Oh, X Gamer's crashed.
Matt G says that this reminds him of Season 5, GP4 Singapore, and GP3 the day later. Now, Matt G, I'm pretty sure that you told me that you won that Singapore Grand Prix in Season 5 and GP4. Am I correct in that?
Maybe. He said, yeah, he got one on him.
So, penultimate lap, Tim. Carl's going to win this by a good stretch of miles. With the move of, pretty much the move of the season. No doubt about it. Carwin Robb is going to win this race. Barring any mistakes, of course.
Yes, barring any mistakes. I was about to say, Oliver, we still have to wait. He hasn't even taken the white flag. Of course, come to think of it, I don't think that Formula 1 technically has a white flag. That's more of a NASCAR thing, but that is where I guess my seeds were planted and my roots have grown
We'll count this as the white lap anyway.
White flag lap. Final lap, 1 more to go. Carwin Robb taking it very easy, very gingerly, and he's still gaining over Morris.
Get it? White flag. It's sponsored by Credit Card Bank. Credit One Bank. I'm joking.
The white
it is the white car after all.
The Credit One to go, or I don't know. Mike Joy can just say it. Mike Joy could say anything, and it just sounds awesome. He's
I like Mike Joy.
I love Mike Joy. Like Mike Joy should never retire. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And realistically, he's going to in a few years probably because he's getting old and he's already done this for years and years. But I love Mike Joy. He is just he is a national treasure. But final lap for Carwin Robb, 13 seconds over second place of Morris, lapping the Williams of Calvin. He wanted to be the fastest Haas. He wanted to be the fastest driver. He wants to be GP2 champion. He gets 2 of those today in Monaco. The other one, he's going to have to wait a few more races. But nonetheless, Carwin Robb is your Monaco GP winner. Morris in second place has not even rounded the final corner yet, 13 seconds behind. All Morris has to do, though, is go down this straightaway cleanly, and he will be a podium sitter at Monaco. First last season, second this season, and it's not the back-to-back wins, but it is still a good result. And G. Davo, my driver of the day, from 16th place all the way to third. Congratulations to G. Davo on your podium in GP2. McCauley finishing in fourth. A good run for him, but looks like something happened to McCauley. Something happened to McCauley. He couldn't get to the line. I think his wheel might have died again. So McCauley was able to get to the line and finish in fourth. Luke Bailey coming down the straightaway now. He will finish in fifth. Calvin Racing in sixth. What an impressive, crazy, insane, fantastic. What did we just watch race?
Well, you couldn't ask for more for that Monaco Grand Prix, Tim. You couldn't ask for more.
I mean, if you asked a few of the drivers, you could probably ask for more passing.
Very true.
Carwin Robb wins again. That's his second win of the season. Of course, he won the opening round and then third place last week. Now first place again in Monaco. We'll talk to Carwin Robb, Morris, and Gadabo. But first, here are your official finishing order for the Speed Force Racing GP2 Series Monaco Grand Prix. Carwin Robb, your winner in the Haas. Morris in second. G. Dabo in third. McCauley in fourth. Fifth is Luke Bailey. Calvin Racing in sixth. X Gamer in seventh. Shoyab in eighth. Ninth is Mackett Crowhawk in 10th. Chain Game Wow in 11th. JD Galay in 12th. 13th is Lozak. Kara in 14th. Trench in 15th. Senna in the 16th position. And look at all the DNFs. Every driver from 7th place on back to 16th was a DNF. Or, my goodness, that is just insane.
Wasn't it just? Wow. That was a race and a half.
But congratulations to Carwin Robb on his win in Monaco. We'll talk to him, Morris, and Gadavo here in just a few moments' time. We got to get him into the party.
I just only need a minute now. Just me, my memory being a bit of a meh.
You had a week off, Oliver. It sometimes you just got to get back in the habit.
Oh,
I
got short-term memory loss, so I can't play any excuses.
So you're like Dory from Finding Nemo?
Oh, you bang on the money.
I don't know.
Just keep swimming, swimming. What do you do? We swim.
I can't believe you're singing that on stream. That's mad.
Hey, I love Finding Nemo. I watched that religiously as a child. I will sing that song any day, every day, at any time. Love it.
Hello, Morris.
So we got Morris in here. Hopefully we can get Gadabo in here as well. And Carbon Rob, I'm sure he'll show up. I'm sure he's pretty happy.
I was just telling Ollie that job's really excellent.
Just waiting for Gadabo and Carwin Robb.
Is Morris here, I suppose? Is Morris give us a shout?
Well, we
He'll
might be
give us a
waiting
shout
on
in a
Morris
minute.
too.
Okay, Karen Rob's invited.
Carwin Robb is joined, waiting on Gadabo. Of course, if he does not want to join, that's okay too. So we will go ahead and start with the interviews. We'll go ahead first and talk to our winner. But before we do that, please, guys, make sure that you have your voices on and allowed to be shared. If you don't know how to do that, go over to the party settings, click Always Allow, and let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
Alrighty, I heard some ready. So first things first, let's talk to our winner of Carwin Robb. 3 races, 3 podiums, 2 wins. An impressive season for you so far. But I gotta say, was there ever a doubt in your mind that you were gonna win at Monaco? Because you had a tight battle there with Morris. It looked like you were struggling to get by him, but once you did, it was just smooth sailing ahead.
Yeah, it was a disappointing win, really, to only have 5 other cars left on the track. And for Morris to get damaged, it probably would have been better. But I'm happy with it.
So you and Morris, you both had time penalties. You picked yours up before Morris did. So when you got that time penalty, how did that change your outlook of the race? Because up to that point, it seemed like you were happy riding behind Morris and waiting for the right time. But after you got the time penalty, it seemed like you just kicked it into high gear and said, now is go time.
Yeah, I just thought I gotta go for it. Because I don't know, I couldn't sit behind for 39 laps. So the penalty was actually a good thing for me, really. Otherwise I probably would have sat behind for 39 laps. But then to see Morris get a penalty as well, then I could relax more.
Well, congratulations, Carwin Robb, on your win today in Monaco. We'll go ahead and talk to your closest competitor now, Morris, in the Mercedes. So, Morris, I know that you've got to be disappointed. You were going for back-to-back Monaco wins, but you do have back-to-back Monaco podiums, and that is an impressive result in and of itself. You had a very tight battle there with Carwin Robb. I want to hear your perspective on it, and how did your race and your mindset change when he got the penalty?
When he got the penalty and he was behind me, I thought, great, let's just keep him behind. And then I just kept having minor contacts with walls. and then that just led to damage. And then Rob just lap after lap was getting a 10th, and I think it was to turn 1 that he was constantly gaining on me. And then it was to the S section, so it was a bloody good overtake from Rob. I didn't want to give us contacts. I was trying to give him as much space as possible. He gave me space, so last thing we wanted to see was us making contacts and coming out the race. But it was frustrating because I think without that damage, me and Rob would have probably had a battle right to the end of the race. But yeah, I'm disappointed, but I'll take it.
So how are you feeling about your championship hopes? Because this was, as I said, a great run for you, and it's not the win that you were wanting, but we still have a lot of races left in the season. Now, Carbon Rob, he is leading the standings, but how are you feeling about your chances at the moment?
I mean, I'm feeling good about my chances to win the championship, and hopefully for me and JD Garlow to get constructors, but it's being consistent, so if I can keep going with podiums, wins may not be needed, but wins are nice, because that 8-point difference between first and second is the biggest points gap between any points. So I'm confident, but I need to start getting in the results quick, because I don't want to give myself a big gap towards the end of the season where I have to then start winning races.
And winning, of course, is the ultimate goal, but you weren't the winner today, but you were just as close as you could be without actually winning it. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to Carbon Rob on the win. Oliver, are you still with us? Do you have closing thoughts?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Morris, that fight with Karen Rob was insane. What was it like battling with him for, was pretty much the second half of that race entirely?
I'm quite literally sweating. Let's just put that in perspective. Yeah, it was constant trying to be careful to not spin, but at the same time keeping quick, because I saw Rob just catching me like crazy. But I didn't want to spin and put myself out of the race. So it was a very intense battle, but I liked it. I'd rather that racing than sitting around the track for 20 laps with no one.
All I'm saying is, Morris, you have my full respect. As any other driver, I could have been in the wall easily.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hope other drivers learn from this, that you can race around Monaco cleanly. It's not difficult. You just look at the space around you and realise, can 2 cars fit through there? No, lift off. Because it's just going to end bad. It could have ended badly for both of us. I mean, both could have been out of the race if one of us did something stupid. So
yeah.
And at the end of the day, you've come out with a P1, I come out with a P2. It's both good points. So I think league racing in general is quite easy to be clean. You just got to not be
stupid.
Not be stupid. Yeah. But that was great fun, and cheers for you giving me space as well.
I thought they'd give you no space, to be honest.
Even though you fucking beat me. We moved past that. But yeah, well done.
Well, and then I guess that is all the time that we have for today, but mutual respect among the competitors, that is what we like to see. Great sportsmanship there. Congratulations, Carbon Rob, on your win. Congratulations, Morris, on your second place finish. And thank you to each and every one of the drivers that raced with us today. I do want to double check, is Gadabo in this session or not?
No, he's not, no.
Okay, then that is it for today. Congratulations to Gadabo on his third place as well, even though we didn't get to talk to him. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us today. Thank you to everyone who watched. And until next time, good morning, good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. Have fun, and goodbye.